ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining us in one more episode, or in our first episode of the UNESCO podcast. Joining us today is the feminist and the women empowerment activist, Stephanie Haddad, who is joining us all the way from Beirut to speak about a very important topic that is women empowerment. Ladies and gentlemen, Stephanie Haddad.
Thank you so much. Lodan, correct?
Yes, Ludan.
Okay,
Yeah.
where are you guys now? In what country?
Dubai.
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 I'm in Abu Dhabi.
Oh,
Oh,
Oh.
I live here. I live in Abu Dhabi, but my platform started and like went viral in Lebanon. So like a good 60% chunk of my followers are based there. And that's why I target mostly things that happen there because I have most exposure to them.
oh, that's
Mhm.
cool.
But no, I am a representative of the Lebanese population. So مش الحال with the intro.
So, Stephanie, you are very important and you like play a major role in empowering young women. And we have all seen amazing videos that you post. You also approach the topic in a very sarcastic way, and that's very entertaining as it can really affect the way that a person interprets a certain topic. So, do you think that women empowerment is a reality or a myth?
It's a reality, and I still argue about people every day regarding this. Only yesterday, someone was asking me, why are you still fighting? Khalas, some women have even more privileges than men do. Like, they still have to open. Please listen to the examples these people use. They have to open doors for you. There's always like a fast lane for women when you're finalizing documents and whatnot going to the government. There's always like a special lane. I was like, you can't use the UAE as an example. I'm like, you need to talk in general. Because here we know in the UAE there's like special treatment for women, but in general, all over the world, some people still get paid less. Some people, when you have to renew a passport in Lebanon or even here in the Lebanese embassy, my mom can't just go renew my sister's passport unless she has a written approval from my dad. Still, a Lebanese woman cannot give the nationality to her children either if their father is from another nationality.
Yeah.
So, although these things might not be a make or break situation in general for the basic human population, it's the little things that add up that when you look at from a distance, you go like, "طب إنه if 6 out of 10 are working against the woman, but 10 out of 10 are working with the man, why? Like, why is this still the case? خلاص, just change everything once and for all, which is impossible. And then you can come tell me, خلاص, you have equality. But مش now, when it's subjective and when the arguments they use is, oh, but you still have this, oh, but you still have this. There's always, oh, okay, but the other side is not helping me because I am a woman. Was that
True.
your question?
Yes, yes, that is
Okay.
actually very true. And that's a very interesting answer. And I'm very shocked that that was the example that you got. Like,
Yeah,
men still have to open doors for women. Like,
Don't
what?
open, don't open for me. I don't want.
Exactly.
exactly. Doors can open automatically.
Yeah, it's good, good.
Yeah, yeah.
But if
Perfect.
you want to define like woman empowerment, let's say, is it all about gender equality or is it basically more than that?
It's more than that. It's not about. Every time I use the word feminist, I get attacked from a certain section of humans who doesn't understand the definition. They think we want to be superior. We don't. We don't have time. We already have this whole God-given blessing of bearing a child that a man cannot do. So we have some things that we are blessed more than the other gender. Even when I use the term gender, by the way, I always have to put disclaimers because now every time I use the term gender, they go like, yeah, but you have to list 1, 2, 7, 8, all of them. So now I'm very careful with my words.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
the humans, you are born, either you have this one or this one. Okay. So let's just use those as the titles. This one is A, the other one is B. So when I talk about women empowerment and I say feminism and all of these things, it's not just about, like I said, getting ability to give your children the passport. It's not about, oh, I want you to open the door for me, but don't do that. Don't tell me I can't and do it on my behalf. It's more than that. It's just about if you prey on a certain gender, what stops you from preying on a certain race or a certain nationality? So women empowerment is just the tip of the iceberg, but people are acted against because of their nationality, because of their race, because of their color, because of the way they dress, because of the way they look, if they're too fat, if they're too thin, if they're too, there's always someone pointing fingers if someone is different or they look different or act differently. So, of course, empowering women is so important. And the reason it started this way was, sorry, the reason my message started this way with women empowerment was because of the video that I posted that went viral about me frustrated in a car. And because I was expressing myself on a video, most of the responses were, oh my God, aren't you shy? Oh my God, your dad lets you speak loudly. Oh my God, you can post like freedom of expression and no one says anything. These are the responses I got to a comedic video. So I'm like, hold up. I'm like, why is this what people are focusing on? They weren't focusing on, oh, I'm stuck in traffic or I'm frustrated from the car. They were focused and no, there was a woman expressing herself. So that's why I was like, oh, okay. I think we have to put a voice in the community, and the women should proceed to express themselves, and we should make it okay. And when I looked online and I looked at all these platforms, I didn't have a woman that was doing the same. Maybe I can't think of anyone in the Arab world, I'm saying,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
when I think outside, there's
Yeah.
obviously many
a lot
icons.
of
But when I
women,
think in the
basically.
Arab world, mafi.
No
So
one.
I'm like, yalla, if the shoe fits, let's go. So I started talking about these topics.
Yes, yeah,
I
of
started
course.
talking about these topics. And the more I proceed to post videos, post content, and try to engage with the audience and ask them, what more would you like to hear? There's a big percentage of men and people who are from different cultures, different religions, different standards of living.
Backgrounds.
Oh, I pushed that way too in. Oh my goodness. Eh, different everywhere, asking me to talk about different things. And I'm like, all these people need a voice to speak for them. All of them, not just women. So women empowerment is basically human empowerment. You cannot shut down and give less confidence to half the population and maybe even more, because statistically speaking, there's more women than men on earth. So you can't
Exactly.
just shut out the other half.
Yeah.
Shada.
Yeah, I would like to ask you one more question. What would you say to people to think that way? That think women are too weak to speak for themselves or too weak to stand up for themselves. How would you explain your point of view to them?
All right. So we would start with the fact that everyone came from a woman, always, because this applies to everyone, no matter what you look like, what color, what culture. No, nothing. You cannot come out of a man because you cannot. So هيدي هي الأساس. هيدا الأساس. This is the beginning, and this is the only way it will ever be in the future. So start from there, and then I give them examples. طب if your mother, لا سمح الله, have, oh, another person came. There's a
Okay.
Faisal now. How many are you in
Yeah,
total,
I'm
by the way?
already here.
We're four. We're four.
Oh, okay, you're
Or
four.
four.
Okay, okay, that's me. Okay, wait, I want to say all of you. Okay, good. So we would start there, and then I would just use that example, whether I'm talking about anything, literally anything. We would start there as an example. I'd go like, La samahallah, if you knew that your mother, before she had you, was raped,
Mm.
and you were a son of crime, would you not want Allah to protect her? Is it her fault? مثلا هيك. I hit him where it hurts, or where it hurts
Yeah.
for her, because some women يتعتيرك. يعني you'd think that they would side with women, but apparently they don't. I don't know why,
Yeah.
because
I
we're the same
was I was
species.
surprised, by the way. Remember the incident that happened a couple of days ago about the girl that got raped and the men who filmed it
Yes,
over here?
yes.
And some women were siding with the men. They were like, okay, it was her fault. Why did she leave? Why did she get out of the house? And then one guy was speaking about the incident. He was like, I think women under the age of 18 shouldn't leave the house unless there's a male guardian with
Wow.
her.
What?
Yeah, yeah, he was speaking about it.
Well,
Wow.
if we just go back to
Literally.
the ideologies that we teach our children, if you teach a man don't prey on a woman, she is not weaker than you. We won't have to teach our women to sit at home and dress differently and accordingly. That's where it
Exactly.
starts. You have to control the men, and I'm pretty sure the boys in this video understand, because it's so it's directly proportional to education. Directly. It's if you
Yeah.
are educated, you're well cultured, well traveled, you met people from different religions, different countries, nationalities, you grew up in a country like the UAE, as I'm sure like we all agree it's a blessing. You understand that nothing differentiates how important you are, how much you should do, and how capable you are, except your actual skill. Doesn't matter what you look like, doesn't matter if you're a woman or a man. So going back to the point, by the way, it took me years to teach myself while speaking not to like go off of the subject. It took me like 2 years to come back to point A. So now I'm returning. You turn. A. So I would start like I'd tell them, imagine your mom did not have these rights. Imagine your sister was harmed on the street, like many cases that we hear. Most recently, Isra Allah yarhamha in Jordan, where her parents killed her and left her body on the street in front of their home in their town. The police came, took her body, and left and did not even prosecute the person. So if I'm talking to someone like Isra's dad, I would tell him, you had a mother. And most of the time, these men بيعشقوا their moms. But when it's someone they own in their perspective, it's a wife, I own you, I bought you. Or it's my daughter, you are me, you are my reputation. It's different and it's so contradicting. And it's like, why? Because she's your daughter, you can kill her for leaving the house. Or I think she posted a picture with her fiance. She محترم
Yeah.
and she's veiled like you guys and like Virgin Mary, like أشرف النساء. شو خاص إذا نزلت صورة with her fiance? Anyway, so that's where I would go. I would just tell them, picture your daughter, picture your mother, picture just an old lady on the street who was unable to provide for herself, so they wouldn't give her a job, so she had to live off the street. Like, isn't it logical that no, give her a job? If she's unable to do X, Y, Z, she can work in a cafeteria, she can work, help with the hygiene, whether it's at school, at anywhere else. So all of these things wouldn't have been possible if it weren't for the feminist movements that started hundreds of years ago. My numbers may be incorrect because zero أنا with math, بس إنه like 20, 50, 60 years ago.
It's okay.
So, if the feminists that came before us, if they didn't start this ideology, God knows where we would have been. 2 days ago, come in, it was like the anniversary of some marathon in the States, and they put two pictures next to one another. A lady who wanted forcefully to join the marathon and run in it 60 years ago, and the police detaining her because, oh my God, you want to run? Allah. And now, 50 years later, where she's running amongst other women. So it's just the stupidest things that would not have been able, and they would not have existed if feminists didn't start before us. So I'd always use their weakness against them, whether it's their daughter, their mother, their sister, just people they see on the street.
Exactly. This is the sensitive point.
صح. صح. And you can use your brain, you can control logic and fact and add 1 + 1 = 2. But some people, when they reach the age of 50 or 60, you can't get to them anymore. Even if you tell them, yeah, استاذ هيدا الشيء غلط هيدا الشيء غلط, you can't just erase 50 years of brainwashing and manipulation.
Exactly.
You can't, unfortunately. So what we work on, what we have now, like young men like yourself, when we give birth, inshallah, to our kids and people around us, and with the power of social media.
Mhm.
Totally.
I also want to ask you a question about what do you think the difference is between feminism and women empowerment? Because when someone hears feminism, they're like, oh, as you said, they think feminism is women thinking they should be superior. It's not like that, but there are some representatives that give that idea, and that's true all over social media. So how would you differentiate them?
Every time someone asks me about feminism, I've been recently trying to just use a synonym, and I'd say, when I say feminism, just think of equality. When I say feminism, just think of equality. Because when you use that term, there's so many people, they call them, I think, the new age feminists, that are like anti-men. And it's like, we hate you, look what you did. And it's like, you can't get your point
I think there
across.
was a
in-
hashtag once, kill all men
I actually
2020.
hate those people.
They always have this phrase, all men are the same.
Yeah, which is not true, because if you ask them, actually, these people, they're like bots. They hide behind their usernames and they hide behind their image, which is usually this. This is their WhatsApp picture and their Instagram icon. And their number, sorry, their username is usually like user12chocolate_. They're not humans. They just want to throw opinions that make no sense. Women and men, yani. So for those new age feminists who are anti-men, it's not the way it works, sweetie. It's not the way it works. This is the initial message, and it's, we don't want to hate, we don't want to be more, we want to be equal. And I saw this lady explain it a few days ago. Men are here, women are here, and they think we want to bring them down, when actually we just want to meet you. So this hand movement was genius. So some people who don't understand words and they don't understand logic, we use physical representation. So yeah, feminism is basically just fighting for equality and fighting for the economic and social rights that we have, whether to vote, whether to study, whether to ride a bike, whether to run on the street, whether to drive a car. This is what feminists want. Women empowerment, I think, I'm making this up as we go, by the way, no, I hope it's correct. Women empowerment is basically acting on it. Yani, I can be a feminist and just chill. I don't have to share my opinion. But women empowerment is when I see a problem and I go and I try to make her stronger and I try to remind her and reinforce her abilities and tell her, by the way, you are, let's say we're taking school as an example. You got like straight A's all of term two. You know that you're headed in an amazing direction. What do you want to be when you grow up? And she comes and she says, oh, you know, no,
Housewife.
most probably my husband will just be the breadwinner and I'll just, you know, take care of the kids. And I'm like, is that what you want? Is that what you want? Yesterday, a girl DM'd me and she's like, Stephanie, she was speaking in third person. She was talking about herself, but I think it مستحية. So she didn't want to say,
Mm.
I
Yeah,
am
yeah.
married. So
Mm-hmm.
she was like, hi. Also, no icon, no image. Most people use fake accounts to speak to me because they're afraid their significant
Afraid.
others would check their direct messages.
Wow.
So she was like, what? She's like, what would you tell a girl if she is married and she really wants to work and she has a passion, but her husband won't let her? I was like, I don't want to be a homewrecker, يعني, but in the
Divorce.
first, the red flag is divorce. She's like, but my parents don't support me and like they'll throw me and they'll say, oh, أنت مطلقة and whatnot. And if you go back, these people, they use religion as like their protection. They go like, oh no, the woman has stayed at home. And I'm like, yeah, but if you open page 17 of the Holy Quran, peace be upon it, and if you open page 23 of the Bible, it's going to say that even if you're divorced, it doesn't matter. And even if you want to work, it doesn't matter. You can't use these things against something. It doesn't make sense. So I explained this point to her, and she's like, yeah, but I don't want to be the divorcee. I don't want to be the person who the parents threw. So it's fine. I'll just be in a marriage. I just want to know what you think. So this is where women empowerment starts. You need to remind these women, you know, you're going to live 60, 70, 80 years, inshallah, always wishing, I wish I did this, I wish I did that, I wish someone supported me here. So these women who don't have someone to support them is where we come in. Whether it's you ladies or the men or myself, this is where we have to come and we have to empower them. So feminism is the belief and women empowerment is the action.
Yeah, and actually, I tend to see a lot of students actually, they wouldn't try their best at school and they would just flunk the class or fail the class. And then when you ask them, don't you want to do something in your life? Their initial response is, oh, it's fine, I'll just marry a rich man. So they don't
I
really
heard it a
care.
lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. You see?
And we want to be the rich man.
I want to be the rich man.
Yes,
Exactly.
exactly. So what would you say to those specific students? How would you empower them to get their degree and to work hard for their degree?
So I think everyone has an idol, right? They were exposed to social media, we're exposed to movies and
Yeah.
singers and actors and
Mm-hmm.
philanthropists to activists. We're exposed to, so أكيد someone has an icon, even if it's the creator of M&M's is your icon. If you love chocolate, you have an icon. There's something that you love. There's something that you want to
Achieve.
pursue, or at least, yeah, something you want to achieve. So I'd ask them, who is your icon? Who's your idol? Mine is Beyonce. Uh, I'm not sure who your icons are, but no, if I were to ask anyone and she tells me, مثلا, I'm trying to think of someone, Oprah Winfrey, the most basic answer, but Oprah Winfrey. I go, okay, that's amazing. Do you just want to watch her, or do you want to do something, make an impact, leave something behind? Most of the time, they say, no, of course I want to do something. Well, okay, what do you want to do? Oh, no, I can't do. And they already have this in their brain that you cannot, you will not, you are not able. Why should you? Someone will do it on your behalf. So we have to, I think that someone needs to add a subject or a course in school from a young age, teaching people and students that if you have a dream, you can achieve it. Whether you're a boy or you're a girl, no matter what country you're from, you can go ahead and you can continue. And
Mm.
if we told them this from a young age, then I don't think we'd have a problem anymore. So for any girl who thinks that she cannot because she is a woman or because someone's going to take care of her, listen, if you don't want to work and you want to be a housewife, do it. If this is what you want, do it. But if you are conflicted and you don't know the truth behind who you are and who you want to spend the rest of your life with and how you want to live before you die, then do what you want to do. There's nothing that's worth throwing everything away because of, oh, my family told me so.
Hmm. I
Exactly.
also really agree with you because the thing is, schools teaches us how to be successful, but not why to be successful. How to be successful at this age, it's really normal. Honestly, anyone can do it.
Yeah,
Just have a voice
anyone.
and confidence.
Anyone.
Literally, today one of
Mhm.
my colleagues was. We were all wrapping gifts at work. I was gonna say at school. We were all wrapping gifts at school, and she has a skill in gift wrapping. Like I'm talking like ruffles on the wrapping and then bows and whatnot. I was like, this is fire. I was like, people can buy this wrapping. People can buy you open a
Exactly.
business, do something for fun on the side, control your time, work for yourself. But do something. If you're good at something, don't do it for free because you want to depend on someone. There's this Lebanese TV show I'm watching. I know super Lebanese of me, but there's this show I'm watching where two people got married, and before they got married, she wanted to open like this school, and he told her, "I'll fund it for you. Don't worry, I'll take care of you." And she's like, oh my god, please don't." Eventually, he did, obviously. So she opened the school with her friend. It was like a dual partnership, and then later on, obviously, the marriage didn't work, so they were going to get a divorce. And in the divorce papers, he's like, "I want the money I paid to help you open this school." طب ولو? She didn't ask for the money in the beginning. She thought he was just
Exactly.
giving it to her. He loves her. Imagine. And he asked her for it. And I'm not saying all men are like this. I am not saying all divorce ends this way. But
Yeah.
if there is a possibility that your future, your income, your accomplishments depend on someone else, don't let that happen. Make sure that you can stand on your own 2 feet, whether you're a man or a woman. I know men who
Absolutely.
don't work. I know men who don't work. They just got married because her dad is filthy rich. Who am I, Yashna? But maybe in the future it comes back to bite them and they say, "Oh yeah, you never were able to take care of my daughter. I own you. You're only with her because of me." Some people are dirty and they're mean. So never ever put your happiness and your stability in the hands of someone else. Nobody.
Mhm.
I
Precisely.
agree.
I think everyone at our age needs to know this because being independent, especially at our age, we have time and we have skill. Let's say even if we don't have skill, we have time to develop skill, and that's what everyone needs to know. Honestly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man, there's online courses on anything.
Literally.
Anything you can imagine. You can make plastic, you can make a teddy bear, you can make bracelets and
Paper.
sell them online. You can make paper.
I was watching this video just now. Literally, people making paper.
Yeah. And you remember that phase where everyone was fixing things with dry noodles?
Exactly. I was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm still
yeah.
amazed.
Anything, yeah. Me too. What's in my table? I don't know now. But
Or
yeah,
people
anything you
making
can do.
cake into like realistic stuff. Like you don't know the
Yeah.
Yeah,
difference.
they make like shoes using cake.
Exactly. I'm
Yeah,
like,
and
oh
like
my god.
Saif said, takes time. You can develop a
Mhm.
skill with time, and then after that, only then do you become a master. Think of university when you study, like you do your bachelor's.
Mhm.
So it means you're informed on the field, you're good at it, but then you can become a master of it. So you have a master, and then you can become a doctor of it. So life is full of progressions, and people who work hard enough must can get scholarships. Those who don't like studying and don't like universities can work on a small project and make it grow. Look at Elon Musk, look at Mark Zuckerberg. Like there's so many incredible people of our time that we can look up to and we can work like.
Be like them, basically.
Yes, that is very true. And
I will ask you one question really quick. You said you made this viral video that people talked about, right?
Mhm.
Did you know that it was going to be viral somehow? Did you have a small percentage in your mind that you will be famous one day?
Not at all. Not at all. I was
Mhm.
just a few months before that video, I started posting funny stuff on my story for my like 300 followers, like my family and my friends. And every time I would post something funny, I was always public because I like how Instagram is all about hashtags, checking locations, what restaurants nice. Like I like the fact of Instagram, and I'm like, okay, if I'm gonna have Instagram, I want to do it this way. My personal choice. So it was always public. So my friends would share with their friends, would share with their cousins, with their moms, with their colleagues. Eventually, I grew to like 2,000 followers. Still, no idea what was gonna happen. And then I was in Lebanon, August 2018, and we were driving, me, my cousin, and my sister. And then all of a sudden, some guy in front of me went left, and then he went right, and then he went left, and then he went right. I'm like, bro, there is an indicator for a reason. So I got frustrated and I posted it on my Snapchat story, not even Insta, Snapchat story. So after I did, my cousins were like, Stephanie, this is hilarious. You need to post it. Let people share it. I'm like,
Mhm.
really, guys? I'm Jared? Okay. So I posted it. So I posted it on Instagram. And 2 weeks later, I think, I was at work here in Abu Dhabi. I left work disconnected from Wi Fi, got home, reconnected to Wi Fi. And if I tell you, my phone was on
It was
fire.
blowing up.
It was, and I still had my Instagram notifications on at the time, and the vibration was on. So as soon as I connected to Wi-Fi, it was like tick 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 tick, tick, boom, خلاص. I was like, oh my goodness, I need to just give my phone a break. I gained 12,000 followers overnight.
Oh my
Imagine,
Oh my
god.
god.
yeah, imagine. That's how it is. I was like, oh my god, what is happening? And then I saw people commenting on the fact that, oh, you're a woman, you're expressing yourself. Then I was like, okay, wait, what more do you want me to talk about? So I started talking, and here we are.
Exactly. I think the first video I saw of yours, what was it? I think was it last year, Min al Filtan or something, that video?
Yes, about the staged rape scene.
Yeah. I sent it to I think more than 10 people just to make them watch it.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
sent
and
it to
that's
you,
how
Lidan.
people
I
grow.
sent it to
Yeah,
Lidan. I was like, watch it now.
yeah. It's
She
insane.
was very excited. She's like, didn't watch this video. I'm like, what the hell? She's like, watch this video. She's inspiring. I was like,
My
okay.
friend doesn't have Instagram. I downloaded each and every video and I sent it to her. Farah. I was
You're
like, you watch.
gonna.
What? I have it in my camera. I downloaded it. I was like, you watch it. She doesn't have
That's
Instagram.
amazing.
I
By
was
the way,
like,
I just
watch
realized my name is Jo Haddad.
it.
I'm on my dad's Zoom.
We were confused in the beginning.
Like, who's this? Who's
I was like,
joining?
Joe.
Yeah.
I'm using my dad's desktop. That's why. بس أنا Haddad.
Mhm. I feel like the important
One.
message that everyone should know is that you don't know what could happen. You could be working your hard, like the hardest, and then at one point you're like, it's not gonna happen. But as you said, you had no idea that you're gonna be famous. You had no idea any of this is gonna happen. So I feel like it's just the point: keep working and never stop until something
My
happens.
Like,
intention is just make people laugh.
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, humor, basically. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm waiting to see if you guys want to say anything because I have more to say.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
you could just
Go
say,
ahead.
I wanted to talk about how I came up with the video for Min al-Filtan. It's basically a social experiment about a girl walking around the streets of Beirut pretending that she got raped and that she was traumatized and sad, as one should be. So people started reacting to her. Some are saying, yeah, obviously you're going to get raped. Look what you're wearing. Obviously you're going to get raped. What woman walks out in the middle of the night? And then some people, few people, were saying, oh my God, do you need help? Oh my God, let me get you some water. But a disclaimer, they went to a very like low knowledge, very uneducated area of Lebanon. Like this could have happened differently in different areas. Just disclaimer, yani. Anyway, so so I was furious at the way people were acting, and I know so many of my Lebanese friends that would not have acted this way. So I felt like it wasn't real. Like it was not the way people should act. But when you do act this way and you blame a rape victim, then not, you need Stephanie to yell at you. Mm-mm.
Mhm.
So I
Probably-
left work. I stormed into the house. My sister opened the door. I was like, Cindy, go get me 5 shirts. She's like, what? I was like, shut up. I was like, shut up, get me 5 shirts. She's like, Haram, what's wrong with this lady? So I put on a shirt, long sleeve, then I put on a shirt, short sleeve, then I put on a shirt, a little cleavage, then I put on glasses. Then I wore my chemistry lab coat just to show different images of clothing. But me, as Stephanie, I'm still Stephanie, regardless of what I wear. So if anyone's listening to this segment, please do not judge a woman by how she is dressed. And nobody can justify rape because it is force. It is by force. It's against everything, every ideology, every law in the world, every religion in the world. It's not correct. And I'm sure if you understand English, then you probably understand that it's wrong. And if you understand
Yeah.
Arabic, you understand.
It's not even about education, because some people say people that rape are not educated well. It has nothing to do with education. I
nothing to
feel
do
like
with
it's just common
education.
sense. It's a crime.
Yeah.
Because like people justify it like, oh, these people are uneducated, they have problems, they have a
It's
past,
like me
whatever.
killing someone. I'm like, oh, I didn't know it was wrong.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not-
What do you mean? Her screaming and saying no wasn't obvious that she does not want?
Exactly.
But for killing it's different. For women, they're like, okay, there's someone they can blame it on.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-uh.
They do that.
Horrible.
It's, they always blame it on her. No matter
Yeah, yeah.
how severe the situation is, it was her fault. Why? It was her fault.
Yeah, yeah, always. Yeah, because
And the
they're
problem
not
is not,
strong
it's
enough.
just not like women at, let's say, 13, 16, 20. You've seen kids. I think you
Yeah,
guys heard
boys,
That's
Kids.
crazy.
young boys.
that happens.
There was a case in Baalbek, also a relatively less educated area of Lebanon. One 13-year-old Syrian child constantly raped over a span of a few months by 3 men, and they weren't prosecuted. No one did anything because it's all tribes and متقرب صوبي أنا من بيت X ومن بيت X. Horrible يعني. We live literally like there's animals that are around us in Lebanon. You won't believe how segregated we are. Like there's the section of Lebanese people who are educated and they studied and they learned about different cultures and they learned that their way isn't the only way. And then there's a whole other section of people who unfortunately, because didn't have the proper education, didn't travel, meet others, don't have access to the internet to understand stuff, they just, oh, okay, so what this guy told me is correct, I'm gonna follow it, and they just go, and it's crazy, and there's no government to teach or help.
I
That is very
think
unfortunate.
there's 5 minutes left on the meeting.
Cool.
So I just think we just sum up.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
So
Thank you
what's your
all so
final
much.
message? Well, no, before we end, I'm sorry. I need like
Yeah, it's
a
okay.
straight message for people at our age, because if you get educated now, it will not happen in the future. So
Yeah.
what's your final message to students watching this?
Basically,
It's
the
so
youth.
awesome. It's so awesome what you're doing because you are the youth. So just the fact that you're talking about this, and not just the girls are doing it because they're girls, but also the boys are doing it, makes such a huge statement, Saif and Faisal. The fact that you're in a Zoom meeting talking about feminism and women empowerment is literally, خلاص, it means we're there. I'm gonna cry. But Anjad, I didn't know that you were 4 people. I didn't know you were 2 boys and 2 girls. I just thought it was going to be maybe one lady I'm talking to. Because most of the time, people who ask me to defend women are women, which is crazy because you, as a man, might have a girl one day. You don't want to protect her. So keep doing what you're doing and spreading and sharing. And people like me who are a few years, not that many years. How old are you? How old are
We
you?
are all around the age
I'm
of 16 or 17.
I'm 16.
Oh, same. I'm 26. But yeah, you are the future of the world, يعني. And if you keep doing this and encouraging each other and don't get shy to defend, don't say someone's gonna call me dramatic if you actually defend a woman or a man or any injustice that you see. Do not be quiet when you see something bad happening. Please.
Of course.
Okay, I think I'll go out of topic, but yeah, I've seen men like okay that defend a woman and then you'll find his friends calling him kharoof. I'm like
Literally.
I'm like,
شخص تصدق
Yeah.
مرحبا.
I'm like, what is happening? Like defending and then yeah, it's something very stupid and like it like angers you basically.
Yeah.
And like that
I feel
kid
like
is
it first started as a joke or a meme, but then like the person, let's say, who's getting called Kharoof is like, okay, he changes his personality because he doesn't want to be
exactly.
like a part of
He
this
Yeah.
meme,
doesn't
even
want to
though it
call
just
Yeah.
back.
started as a meme.
Even though he knows that
Exactly.
he's right. And
Mm-hmm.
he
Yeah.
knows the harm it could lead to if this mentality continues and reproduces. We have to stop them.
Precisely.
Yeah.
That is very exact. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Like literally, thank you so much
Yeah.
for coming and speaking with us about this matter. To be honest, and we're just gonna keep you updated and tell you how many
Yes,
people
please.
are inspired with what you just said.
Please. Where are you going to post this?
Oh, it's gonna
Yes,
be on
and we will
YouTube.
share it with you.
We'll share it on YouTube. We'll put it on our Instagram.
Chef's kiss. See, I'm still young.
Yes, you are.
I mean, age is
Yeah,
but a number.
So
we're really
yeah,
glad to have you on the podcast.
Thank you
very
so much
honored.
for having me, Anjad. You guys, you're going to change the world.
Thank you so much. We're all proud of you.
Yeah, we're proud of the impact you had on us, to be honest.
I'm honestly
Yeah.
very, very proud of each one of you as well.
Thank you.
So,
So
one more
much.
time, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for joining us in our first episode of our UNESCO Talks podcast. Joining us today was Stephanie Haddad. Thank you, Miss Stephanie, so much for joining us and for causing an impact in the world. Thank you all for joining, and thank you, Miss Stephanie.
Bye.